Jamaica has a wide selection of neighborhoods and residential districts. When choosing one, if you don't understand the different makeup, it can be challenging. So how do you decide which of these neighborhoods or districts are best suited for you and your family and the lifestyle you want to curate?
The Jam family. We're Irie, living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam family, the Jam family, yeah. Jam fam, come hang with me.
Hello, Wagwan, pick up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fam. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at moving to Jamaica, what type of accommodation is best. That's moving to Jamaica, what type of accommodation is best. Now, to answer this question, I split it into two different sections. So one of them focuses on one of the where should I live points, which is location. So first thing to think about is that there are several different locations and we're going to go through them together. So the first one is gated community, which a lot of people hear about. So the gated communities tend to offer a perimeter wall or fence around the whole estate. They tend to have security at the gate. Those tend to be standard things. And then some of them might have a combination of these or all of these. And it is where you pay a maintenance fee in order to live there, which helps to look at the different things around the estate. And then you also have a clubhouse, so a place where people can meet and do different activities and things, sort of like a community center. And then you also have those things that might come with a gym, and some of them have a swimming pool, and they have some recreational activities. They have foot trails that you can go walking, and they tend to have courts, so tennis courts and kids play areas as well. The next type that you have is the subdivisions. Most of the subdivisions are done by the NHT, but there are also other subdivisions which are a little bit further out from the city center, probably about 15 to 20 minutes drive from any of the city centers. And these are where you have your allotted pieces of land that you can buy and build on. And in some cases, they are built on already and you can purchase. And subdivisions, you might have a play area. You tend to have walking paths that you can go on just along the different roads and things like that. And it has nice green areas around. Then the other bit that you have is the suburban. So the suburban way of living is where it's closer to the city center, but yet not in the city. And again, you have your allotted space where the houses are and you build. It tends to have a little bit more guided restrictions and neighborhood watches and things like those that you can become a part of, and to help with the security and safety of the people in those communities. The next thing that you have as another means of accommodation is you have apartment complexes, and that's becoming increasingly more so, not just in metropolitan areas but elsewhere. And so that's where you can buy an apartment, or you can live in an apartment complex, and that also comes with some fees, and some of them have some facilities similar to a gated community. So they might have gym that you have, they might have a communal washing area where with washing machine facilities and things like those. They might come with underground parking and things like those. So the next option, so we've gone through gated community, we've gone through subdivision, we've gone through the suburb, we've gone through the apartment complex. The next one that you have is the metropolitan area. So that's where you are in the heart of a metropolitan city, or you live in one of the major cities that are capitals to one of the other parishes. And that has a mixture of dwelling opportunities that you can have in terms of the way in which the houses are. So the next area to think about is, outside of the metropolitan area, would be the rural areas. So most rural areas, the lot of land that you would have is upwards of a quarter 1/4 acre of land, and you can do your homesteading and all of those things there as well. Now, bear in mind that the allotment of land in each of these places are going to be very different. You know, for example, in the apartment complex, you just have your park space and your accommodation, and there might be a communal garden space, and so it varies as you go through. In the subdivision and the suburbs, you tend to have where people have upwards of 1/5 or 1/4 acre of land. You might have the odd ones that have 1/2 an acre of land as well, and in the gated community, they tend to be less than 1/4 acre of land that you will get for majority of them. They probably look at around 4,000 rather to 5,000 square foot of land, and some of them might go up to about 9,000 square feet of land. So the land variation is significant between those different types of accommodation. The important thing about thinking about location in that way is, what do you want to curate for your family in terms of the experience that they're going to have, the social and recreational experience that you're going to be providing them. Now, the other part of accommodation, so the second half of accommodation, there are 6 key things that we could look at, but I'm only going to look at 3 of those in this video. So the first one is, the first option is to decide whether you're an owner occupier or a renter, or how the accommodation is. So one of the things to think about there is that you could contemplate long-term renting or leasing. So that's an option that you could have. Long-term renting is an option that you could consider doing. Okay, what that does is it gives you a lot more mobility. So if you want to move from one place to the next, then you can end your rent agreement, and you can decide that, okay, I don't want to be in St. Anne's anymore, I now want to move to Portland, and you're not restricted with that movement outside of just your notice period. And
necessarily the cheat code for renting in Jamaica. Now, when renting in Jamaica, you could take 2 routes. You could find housing on your own, or you could go through housing options via a realtor. Now, with a realtor in Jamaica, the realtors usually show more luxurious apartments, more practice in Jamaica would be through searching on the Gleaner Classified. And now with technology, you can search for the Gleaner Classified online. You don't have to wait until Sunday morning at 6 a.m.
And the other option that you have from there is to buy. Now, if you choose that you want to buy, there are lots of websites that you can look at, and there are YouTube channels as well who show. I've already shared a realtor or estate agent. If you're from the UK and you would say estate agent, you will also need a conveyancing solicitor to help you with that. And you don't have to think about just buying outright if you don't have all of that cash together. You could choose to use a mortgage to buy, mortgage broker, or you could go directly to the bank. And for those people who are NHT contributor, you could choose NHT as well to support your overall spending cost.
Kind of, how then, what's the process for them to start the contribution?
All right, I'm happy that you asked that question, because over the years we have simplified that process. Right now, the application form for overseas and local voluntary contributors is a 1-page document.
So what was it before that?
Well, it was what some person considered a more complex process, where it is that you had a 3 or 4-page document, requesting some information. But for us right now, we just need sufficient information to create an account for you. So the basic information is required is your name, right? You must have a TRN, a tax registration number, a national insurance number that we call a NIS, name, TRN, NIS, right? And we ask for you to state what is your proposed income. Right. For your overseas voluntary, you must show some proof that it is that you are a resident of another jurisdiction. Right. Having submitted all that information, we'll then ask you for copies of the documentation required, and you can submit that to us electronically. You can just complete the application form, scan it, along with the required documents, and you send it to
go
our
through that
compliance
again,
mailbox.
because I think, persons who have left Jamaica years ago think that they left the same institution that they left in 95, 96. I would keep telling people that we're not only a listening organization, but we evolve with the times.
That's
so
correct.
go through that again, because persons believe that they have to physically bring the documents in. So you can go through that again for me.
All right.
Scan it.
I tell you what, like a lot of us can identify and agree with, the pandemic has taught us to do business a different way.
Yes.
So too at NHG, we have pivoted, right? And we have listened, and we have tried to make the process as simple as possible. So the application form is a one-page document that can be found on our website.
Right.
Having printed all these documents, you have them notarized. You can have them scanned and emailed to us. And we recommend them that you send them to our compliance mailbox, which the address is compliance@nht.gov.jm. And within 2 working days, we'll have your account created and tell you how it is that you can go about making your first payment online.
So in 2 tools, you're finished.
The important thing is to try and make sure that if you're going down the path of buying, you have done enough research to be able to support you with the cost and finding out ways that you can get additional credit in order to be able to do so. And third one that I'm going to look at on the side of ownership or something in that way is buying land and then building. So I've mentioned before about the subdivisions or the suburban areas. So in those areas, as well as in the rural areas, you can get land to buy. And so you could choose that you're going to buy the land and build. There are lots of developers who can do that for you. Make sure though that you go through those proper procedures, because you're going to need to have architectural drawings, you're going to need tests done on the site to meet NEPA's criteria, and you're going to need to do your due diligence in terms of the contractors that you have on site. That typically expects you to have, whatever they estimate, you need to have a miscellaneous cost of about 30%, because a lot of the things that they use are imported, and so those costs can go up as inflation changes. So that's something to keep in mind. But then you get to put your mark on what you want. But if you choose the buy option, you can also buy something that needs renovating, and then you put your mark on that as well.
We see the land is slanted, so this is the first level here, the lower level, and then the main floor is going to be up here, right? So then the front porch is going to be from here to here, right? And then when you go in, that's going to be the living room right there. So there has to be another wall that's going to go up here, and it's going to be half a wall that's going to come up for the veranda. Then no, you're going to go in through the front porch, go into the front door, enter to the living room, and then you're going to be able to go over from that door there. So this area, this is the hallway, but this part of the hallway is going to serve as a kitchen in the front part right here. So you're going to have a kitchen. When you come out to the living room and make a left, the kitchen's going to be right here. There's going to be a wall right here to close off right here. So it's going to be a kitchen in this area where I'm standing here. So this is the door that's going to lead from the living room to the living room. So this is the living room here. So you got to put a wall up here. And you come through the hallway door, and then right here is going to be a kitchen, right? And then this is going to be the hallway that leads to the bedroom, and the bedroom is going to be over here. Bathroom is going to be behind there. Right here is going to be the staircase. The space is kind of wide because it's going to be a curved step. It's going to curve from here over to that wall there and come around here. So it's going to be a rounded staircase, which is going to go upstairs.
These are the 3 types of acquisition of accommodation that I'm going to be sharing with you. As I've said before, there are 6 of them altogether, and I've shared 3 with you. I've shared all 6 of the location ones with you. So hopefully this can help you in getting started and looking forwards to moving on and setting yourself up should you decide affirmatively that you are going to be moving to Jamaica. Eliona is in her down regulation time, and she's awfully quiet, so I'm going to go do some investigation. Yep. So Eliona, what are you doing in your down regulation time? Okay, so
I'm playing Blackburn.
what's that?
It's a game on Roblox.
Really? Isn't Bloxburg a game that you have to pay to go on?
Yeah?
So why are you on it?
There's a new update that you can play on it for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Since when? Are you sure you didn't buy
I'm
credit to
positive.
pay?
I would have had to be linked to your card to pay for it.
Oh.
And you would have gotten a notification.
So what you doing on there?
I'm building.
What you building?
I'm building my home.
Oh. Are you planning to move into it? When?
When it's finished, I'm just trying to add the second floor.
Okay. So that sounds interesting. So it was a pleasure spending this time with you today. Bye for now, and we'll see you in the next one.